Come one, come all, it's time for What's Hot. This is where we talk about the stories that have everybody talking.
Yes, and today we are joined by Susie Falk from the Falk Group Public Relations, plus Jeff Wagner is always back with us. An elementary school principal in Wisconsin is on paid leave. A second grader had a meltdown at Harmony Elementary School, so teachers brought the child to a safe room. The principal is accused of physically restraining this child who was autistic. So the question is, should the principal be fired for her actions?
Jeff, were you talking about this on the radio today?
I think you need more information. Now, I mean, it's exactly, Shannon, like you talked about. Everybody agrees the child was having the meltdown. A couple teachers take him into this room. Now, then is where it becomes questionable. The story is that they had the child calm down. Then the principal came in and apparently, allegedly, put her hands and feet on the child. And now, obviously, the parents are extremely upset about this. I guess I just need to know more about this. I mean, what exactly did the principal do? What exactly was the state? Nobody alleges the child was injured, and authorities looked at it and didn't determine that there was any basis to issue criminal charges. So I just don't exactly know what happened here.
Unless a student is involved in a fight, going after somebody, is there an instance in this day and age where a teacher, school administrator, has any business laying a hand on any student?
Well, but I think when you're dealing with special needs kids, I mean, I think that's part of the protocol. That, I mean, sometimes you need to do that to calm people down.
Well, and when, I have a friend who has an autistic son, and he does get violent, and he hurts himself, and he does need to be restrained. And I think what we need to do in this case is look at what's called the BIP. It's the Behavioral Intervention Plan, and it is a plan that educators and parents and even the students in the classroom agree to when there's a kid with a special need. And so what happened with the BIP? I mean, was the kid did the parents agree that the kid could be restrained if he becomes violent? And if so, when did that restraint happen? And if the kid had settled down, then it was inappropriate. So
and it's important to note that the spectrum of autism is very wide. So we don't know, again, if it was a child who was, had tendencies to be violent or not. But I agree with you, Jeff, that we just need more information.
Yeah, right. What did she do? What was the level of restraint? What was the situation? Now, this does raise the other interesting question. There's a lot of school districts across the country that have gotten away from this whole safe room idea, that they think that makes matters worse. Apparently, this was a padded room where you had mats that were up against the walls and things like that. A lot of school districts don't think that's the way to deal with autistic children. I don't pretend to know one way or the other on that one.
And I think we still need to know what all was involved in this case before we can decide whether or not this principal deserves to have her job terminated.
Right. She wasn't charged criminally, and to me that's one of the key things, because if she was, now I understand it's a different standard, but if what she had done was so clearly over the line that it issued criminal charges, that would make this an easier call.
All right, last word on that, Jeff. Coming up next, we reveal the viewer's choice.
It is our viewers' choice topic of the day.
Again, we are joined by Susie Falk and Jeff Wagner from 620 WTMJ. The viewer's choice topic, how did I know? Secretly taking pictures up a woman's skirt, believe it or not, is legal in the state of Massachusetts. This is known as upskirting. The state's high court ruled it does not violate the law because the women were not nude. A prosecutor wants a revision of this law. Does this need to be addressed?
Absolutely. That makes absolutely no sense because the woman wasn't nude, so you're still going to take a I don't get it. I mean, with the smartphones today, and they're getting even smarter, you can wear them as glasses. I think we're going to have some laws in place. And I think you just don't upskirt. You just don't do it, folks. It's inappropriate.
Counselor, is this a narrow reading of the law here?
Well, look, sometimes, what's the Shakespeare phrase, the law is an ass? I mean, isn't that how they say it a lot of times? This is one of those, I think, situations. I mean, apparently there's this weird statute in Massachusetts that says that, you have to be nude, and it defines that as, displaying certain body parts, and this apparently doesn't do that. Now, I'm not justifying that. If this is in fact the law, you need to change the law. And I guess I wonder what would happen if I am told that there are some people who go around without undergarments. I mean, if they're not wearing undergarments and you do this, is it a crime? I mean,
ask Sharon Stone.
Yeah, ask Sharon Stone.
The skirts are so short too today. Well, you don't have to drop your phone very low. I think it's just common sense. Supreme Court.
Isn't it scary though that you have men or women upskirting? Like that's where they're
Well, it
getting
also
jollies
seems
from
to me, now,
upskirting?
again, it seems to me like this is a good way to get yourself like beat up or something. I mean, I'm just saying, you know, I don't know. I'm imagining you're sitting there, a gal and her boyfriend, you know, on the L or whatever, and all of a sudden you see some creep trying to do this. Sounds like it's a good way that like bad things can really happen to you.
If you're on the L, you will get beat up. If you're on the T, apparently you won't.
Fair enough.
Just
Because
wear
it's
slacks.
legal.
All right, well, it is now time for our lightning round. Some people still aren't ready for women to fly planes. Yes. A passenger left a note to a woman pilot saying, "The cockpit of an airplane is no place for a woman. A woman being a mother is the most honor." What are your thoughts? He did land, correct?
Yeah, right. Actually, he left a note after they landed. You know?
Got some nerve.
Of course, they can serve peanuts and drinks, and that's just fine, right? I mean, what generation is this guy from? Wake up, get with the 21st century. It's just ridiculous. Whatever. She's still going to fly planes, and he's going to ask who his pilot is, and that's his right.
Well, I guess I wonder what else this guy thinks, because I mean, newsflash. I mean, women do all sorts of things. Women are judges. You know, women are doctors. I mean, is this the type of guy that you go into the emergency room and he's going to say, "Well, I'm sorry, doc, I don't want you to look at this particular problem because you're a female and you can't do it." I mean, it's. I guess there is this caveman mentality that comes out from time to time. But you're right, Shannon. He waited till they landed. I thought that was interesting.
And landed safely, they did.
Right.
Jeff, you're married to somebody who's no shrinking Violet. What would she have done in a case like this?
Oh, well, you know, no, my wife is not a shrinking violet, and if my wife's an attorney, and if somebody said, "Oh, women shouldn't be lawyers, women should be, you know, whatever," it would not have been a pretty sight. The guy might have been in the emergency room with the female doctor. I don't know.
That would have been the sweetest revenge of all, wouldn't it? All right, the What's Hot discussion will continue online. Find it at tmj4.com/hot.
And coming up.